Welcome back to Rad JBI. I'm JB. Today I'm with longtime friend Parker Shields. We've been working with him for about 4 years now. We did the transition from 85s to big bikes, 250Fs and 450s. And most recently, we had a fun day at the track where we took his Kawasaki KX450, which is a 2024, and he's been riding our JBI spec Showa front forks. We pulled those off and we put on our best JBI spec KYB forks. The reason for this is in 2022, the KX450 SR model came with KYB suspension, while the production bike always came with Showa. And people raved about how much they loved the KYB specs on the Kawi. Now, I feel very strong that we have very good Showa settings, but it's fun for us to learn the uniqueness of each fork and figure out which one does work better out of our spec, and then also how do we improve from there. So for just over a couple months now, you've been riding our Showa front forks on your bike, which are these beautiful looking gold ones with DLC lowers and green lugs. We pulled those off and I put on our JBI KYB spec front forks, and those are pretty rad too. I think it's green
The color,
tubes.
yeah, the color's dope on both.
Yeah,
I don't know which one I like better. It's like they're both sick.
Reason for that is we have JBI KYB DIY kits coming out soon. So what he got to try is our latest up-to-date KYB spec. Every year we visit all the settings that we have on all the brand bikes, and we look at where we left off and we figure out where we can get better. So Parker got to spend the day with us at Fox Raceway to try the forks back to back. He started the day off with the Showa forks with what he was used to. I think we did like 2 practices.
Yeah, a few laps.
And then we pulled those off. He helped me pull them off. We threw on the KYBs and then we threw them out there. And then I'll kind of let him kind of take over from here. But just give me your first initial impressions going from something that you were familiar with, settings wise, to a KYB fork.
It was a little bit weird, like, 'cause I trust the Showa forks a ton. So going into the KYB was a little bit weird feeling at first, but I got comfortable with them. And the first initial feel was like the Showa forks were a lot stiffer. And so going from the Showa to the KYB, it was like them being a lot softer. It was like I kind of had to adjust my riding style. Like I can sit back on the bike a little bit more and like do my normal riding style, like do the rollers, like really lean back on the bike. So yeah, it's kind of like a first initial feel. The track wasn't super rough. So like the bumps, there was a lot of small bumps. Ruts weren't very deep, but it was good. It was a good day.
Your transition seemed pretty quick, meaning we put you on the KYBs, you went road for a little bit. You came in, we made some clicker adjustments. I went 4 clicks softer on compression, and then I went a couple clicks faster on the rebound. Not necessarily make the rebound faster, but to also reduce the low speed compression even more. I think a lot of this was because the forks he was riding, the KYBs, were pretty much brand new with very low hours. So as he rode them, they were probably breaking in on the track. And then as he alluded to, adapting his riding style. Because you've been on big bikes now for about 1.5 years?
Yeah, just about a year.
Okay.
Yeah.
And the 450 for a couple months now?
2 months.
Yeah.
Just about, yeah.
So previously you've been riding the KYBs on your 250F, but that's a very different beast in terms of how the bike revs, how much it weighs, the rotating inertia.
Yeah, the weight is crazy.
Right? When you let off the gas, the 450 kind of keeps chugging forward. With the 250, you can easily push around.
Right.
Let's touch on 4 key areas then of like fork performance. The first one being like small bump feel. So it's the type of bumps you find going into a corner and then exiting a corner. We often call these like chatter bumps. Between those 2 forks, which one had a better feel to you?
Paula was definitely very good with like those bumps were like perfect coming into the corners. They were very small, and I would definitely say I had a comfortable feel with the KYBs. I feel like the front tire wasn't really, it wouldn't really catch air and step out on me. Like, it was very planted to the floor, and it would really get into the corners nice. So I would definitely pick KYB in that scenario. The Showa forks, it wasn't bad, but it just wasn't the same as KYB was.
Okay, cool.
For sure.
For the next area for us to focus on, we'll kind of transition with this would be cornering aspect. Because you find all those bumps going in the corners. So would that help you set up for the corner better and allow you to corner better with the KYBs?
For sure, yeah.
Yeah.
I would,
okay.
Yeah, that's like some of the bumps would have like in the middle of the rut, there'd be like a bump in the middle of the rut, right? And like I would go in and the Showa forks would like hit the bump and kind of step out on me a little bit, where the KYBs were really planted and it would really just like ride the wall of the rut like a lot better. Yeah, just more comfortable on the KYB for sure.
Okay. The next area for us to focus on would be ride height. So by that I mean, how does a bike feel in terms of balance of how tall it rides front to back? Does one fork feel like it rides higher or lower in the travel?
I would say they're like relatively the same, but I would say I like how the Showa forks ride a little bit higher, but then at the same time, when they ride a little bit higher, you can sit a little bit higher on the tank, and that's kind of gives you some like weird posture, a little bit arm pump going on there.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like good in some areas. Like the landings are definitely way better on the Showa forks, just because
Interesting.
like it's just a lot plushier, and it's just I think it's because the ride height is a little bit taller.
Yeah, I see. Okay, so the ride height seems like the KYBs might ride a little lower in the travel versus the Showas. And then last would be bottoming resistance. So when you land from jumps, does one of them stand out to have much better bottoming, or are they pretty evenly matched in that area? Or what would be your preferred? If you're gonna go hit a big jump over and over, which set of forks are you grabbing?
I would say if I was like a free rider, I might pick the Showas.
Okay,
I just like how like plushy they are when you land.
I
So
see.
like free rider guys, Showa might
Yeah.
be the move. Like I don't
Okay.
know, but moto for sure KYB. It corners unbelievably.
Cool.
But yeah, landings, Showa's pretty nice.
All right. So my takeaway from this then is, and just to context, here we're nitpicking. Both forks perform very well. Both forks perform much better than stock. We're just sharing with you how we get better. If we don't nitpick what we have, then it's hard for us to know how we can get better. So based on this info, we're going to go back, make some adjustments to the Showa forks, do this test again. And at Ride JBI, this is ongoing. We call this continuous development. It never stops. But that's the fun part of our jobs is we get to go ride dirt bikes. So we feel pretty lucky to do that.
For sure.
For the footage you see of Parker riding, a lot of it, the majority of the day was at the Fox Raceway main track. Unfortunately, somebody got hurt that day, so we got flagged off and we had to
Move to the vet, yeah.
Yes, which is kind of cool because it gets its own different style of bumps.
Different track layout for sure.
Yeah, but we didn't get to transition back to the main track at the end of the day. You also said that you got to ride some Glen Helen as well on the KYB forks as well.
Yeah, no. After Paula, I was like really eager just to try some more KYB. So I went out to Glen Helen about a week later, and it's kind of the same thing. You know, Glen Helen has the crazy hill, so going down, like especially that day, dude, the hill was gnarly. So it was a good test for sure. And I feel like a lot of it has to do with like a lot of the hill is like shock setup for sure. But there is a little bit like when you get down to the bottom, the forks are a big part in like keeping your front wheel like straight and like not getting any like weird kicks on it. So it handled it crazy good. Like it was really comfortable. I had tons of confidence in it, and like I just knew what it was gonna do every time, and that allowed me to get some crazy speed going down the hills.
Dude, I like it, man. So what's awesome now is now that we've done this testing, I have his KYB 250F forks here at the shop. So now we know exact what setting to put in that bike. Now we're going to micro tune it a little bit for the lesser weight of the 250F. It has less rotating inertia, so meaning the engine doesn't feel as heavy as you ride the bike. So we will tweak this bike a little bit, but we have a very good idea of the baseline setting to give him. And then from here, we'll get our demo forks back from the Showas, make some adjustments on those, test that again, make another video for you guys to check out. But for me, man, it's been a lot of fun watching you ride. We worked with Parker since 80s and got some really good results on the Husky TC85s. You're running our WP kit suspension on that. And then he recently made a transition to big bikes. I feel like you've, one, grown as an individual, size-wise, physique-wise, personality, just like growing up.
Yeah.
And then watching your riding style, man, I've really been impressed by the technique that you got. It's very clean.
Yeah, no, I've definitely evolved crazy from 85s. Yeah, I mean, I've grown a ton, like height-wise, weight-wise. I was a little bit small in the beginning on the 250, but I feel like now I can really ride it good, which, you know, helps me test a lot of stuff better because I know like what I'm doing and I can fit the bike a lot more. So, yeah.
Cool. Well, dude, thank you so much for coming in, man.
No problem.
And you guys tune in for our next video when we do some more testing with Parker.
Thank you.
Fuck yeah. Good job, man.
Thank you.